Hey, what's up guys? Rob here. Welcome to a brand new weekly video where I show you guys what I watched during the week. Now, I got this idea from Julie Cassidy, and usually she does Monday to Friday. I do Monday to Sunday, showing you guys what I watched during the whole week, and I usually try to watch at least 2 movies a day. And I'm doing October 12th, which is Monday, through October 18th, Sunday. By the time you see this video, it'll probably be the 19th. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I watched and tried to keep it strictly horror because of the month of October. Now, maybe that'll change once we move into November, but I tried to keep it strictly scary movies or horror movies. So, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy this list. Let's get started with Monday, October 12th. This is what I watched. Who are you going to call? Because I know who I called. Ghostbusters. That's right. I watched the first Ghostbusters. I love Ghostbusters 2. People shit on Ghostbusters 2 and I hate it. Okay? I love Ghostbusters 2, but I love the first one even more. Doesn't mean I hate Ghostbusters 2. Okay? I love it. But you got Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis. This is a masterpiece. Okay? The fact that I still get scared when Stay Puft Marshmallow Man walks down the street almost shit my pants. Like, honestly. No, it can't be. It can't be. What? It just popped in there. What, Ray? What just popped in there? Honestly, yeah. God, I freaking love this movie. Um, Everything about it, from the jokes, the characters, the story, the effects. The effects are so good. How is it that in the reboot, the effects look like a cartoon mixed with live action? Why is that? This big CGI dragon flying around. Oh, wow. Look at that. Is that really here? No, it's not. Honestly, they didn't have any of that here. The librarian ghost looked more realistic than any of the ghosts in the reboot. Stupid reboot. That's going to be a fun video. I'm going to tear into that stupid movie. Anyway, Ghostbusters 1 is a masterpiece, and I freaking love it. I mean, the scene where Dana opens the fridge and she sees, like, the terror dog in the distance, Zool, the eggs that start to cook on the counter by himself. She's possessed by Zool and she's floating above the bed. Just all that stuff. The terror dogs are they're freaking. I remember when I was younger, I had like scary dreams or nightmares about those terror dogs. I mean, I don't know what it is about it. They're just so freaky looking. Marshmallow Man, I never really was scared of, except for when he first pops up and you see his head going between the buildings. But it's amazing what they did. It is so well done. Okay, Ghostbusters. The next one I watched on Monday is a movie that I think not a lot of people care about or even talk about or even know about. Because when it comes to the actual franchise itself, people always talk about the John Carpenter version. So I watched The Thing from Another World. This is where it all started right here. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have John Carpenter's The Thing. And I freaking love John Carpenter's The Thing. Don't get me wrong. This right here is a classic. I actually might even like this a little bit more than John Carpenter's The Thing because John Carpenter had a little bit different vision. His was a little bit different. Um, the creature itself was totally different. Here, the creature kind of looked like Frankenstein in a way, mixed with an alien being. But James Arness, he played as the Thing. Oh man, this movie, dude, the characters are so good in this movie. The music is so terrifying. The atmosphere is creepy. With this thing running amok on this facility with these people inside. The ship's there. It's under the ice. They try to use this technology to get to melt it and chip away at it so they can get to it. And then they get the body. It's frozen. They try to thaw it out in this facility. It starts to melt, and then the creature starts running around in this plant section, and um, it gets he bursts through the door, and they shut his arm in the door. Like man, honestly, it's terrifying. Like what they accomplished with this movie. I mean, I guess you could say this movie and John Carpenter should be separate, but I still don't think a lot of people really know about this one. It's a shame. The older movies are just they're so good, man. That's what I say about the original Blob, and everyone knows about that movie anyway. But Thing from Another World is excellent. If you have not seen it, I definitely recommend it. Moving on to Tuesday, October 13th, I watched one of the creepiest films ever made. Forget Exorcist, okay? Here we have Pet Cemetery, the original. The original, not the remake. The remake didn't scare me at all. This one with the Micmac burial grounds and Gage getting run over by a semi and then coming back and going, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. You got Zelda being like, Rachel, Rachel, this time I'll get you. Never get out of bed again. Like, honestly, come on. She's sitting there in the bed going, oh, she's trying to feed her. She's like, oh my God. Oh my God. I don't have an appetite. You got Pascal running around being like, come on, Doc. Don't make me ask you twice. Come on, Doc. The barrier was not meant to be crossed. The ground beyond is sour. Dude, this movie's creepy. It's a freaking creepy movie. Don't go down that road, Lois. Don't go down that road. Trucks going up and down that road. You know about that. Don't go down that road. Yeah, it's quite a walk. I'll take you up there sometime. Yeah. I don't care. This movie's awesome, people. The characters, the story, the music. Um, it's creepy. Love it. A man's heart is stonier. I should introduce you to the pop. All right. The next movie I watched is a movie that gets, I don't want to say shit on, but that's not the right term. But it gets neglected. And I don't understand it. This is a fantastic sequel, and it doesn't get talked about. It's either the first one's good, or the fourth one sucks, or the third one is a guilty pleasure, but it still sucks. No one talks about this one, Jaws 2. Just like RoboCop 2. No one talks about RoboCop 2. No one talks about Rocky 2. Why? Jaws 2 is great. You got the return of Chief Brody, who goes head to head with another shark. Goes and saves these kids that are trapped on these boats because there's a shark terrifying. The shark is swimming around and they're terrified. Great movie. Honestly, it's not as good as the first one, but still, it's I'd like to see Chief Brody back. But yeah, it's a sequel that no one ever talks about. It sucks. It's like this is way better than Jaws 3. It is way better than Jaws 4. Moving on to Wednesday, October 14th. Now, I watched this movie because the last week I watched Duel, and that was on October 5th, Monday. So that gave me the idea to watch this, and this is like a modern day take on Duel, and it is Joyride. My favorite, well, one of my favorite Paul Walker films, definitely. Rest in peace, Paul Walker, but Steve Zahn's in this. Basically, you don't want to mess with truck drivers, okay? You don't go on the CB radio and start pranking people, especially truck drivers who are lonely, horny, and will do anything for anybody. Honestly, that's what happens here. They prank this dude and tell him to meet up. Paul Walker acts like a chick and meet up at the hotel, and then the truck driver gets pissed off after that because he realizes he's been played, and so he starts to chase these kids and terrorize them and stalk them. And Rusty Nail, he was voiced by Ted Levine, who did Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs. He's got that unique voice. Um, but you don't get to see the truck driver until the third act. Third act, you kind of get to see a silhouette of him. You get to see some of his face, but throughout the film, you see an arm, you see a leg, just like in Duel. That's all you saw. So they went a little bit farther with this, with the gore and the seeing the truck driver. So, uh, very very good movie. It's definitely my favorite of the Joyride series. The next one I watched that day is The Collector. Of course, I love this movie as well. It's like a reverse home invasion film. It's like you go inside the house, but then you can't get out. You can't get out of the house because this guy, wearing this mask, who we don't know much about, he's very smart, very clever. He sets up traps in the house so you can't get out of the house. So, okay. Um, it kind of reminds you of Saw movies a little bit with the traps, but they don't go to that extent. But it's from the writers of Saw 4, 5, and 6. Um, that can go either way because those movies, whatever. But this is definitely better than Saw 4, 5, and 6. This is an excellent movie. I even like the collection. I know they're going to make a third one. I cannot wait, whenever that's going to be. But yeah, this guy, we don't really know much about him other than he can use weapons. He's very clever. He can set traps up, and he collects people in these boxes. Just certain people. This one guy goes into the house and he breaks in to steal something, and he finds himself like, "Oh shit, what did I walk into? Like something's going on here." Very very good movie. All right, so moving on to the 15th, which is Thursday. I watched a couple films directed by James Wan, and when it comes to horror directors, I think James Wan is definitely one of the best because he's got a unique style. He's very good at, um, doing the slow, creepy, still shots. If you know what I'm talking about, he's got that unique style where it's very quiet, and you're expecting a jump scare, but it doesn't happen yet. It actually he kind of throws you off, and then when the jump scare happens, it's very subtle. It's not like like it's not like that. And these are some of the best movies that he's ever directed, in my opinion. And the thing is, they kind of have a unique style to them, and that's what I mean. He's very unique in that way. So I watched The Conjuring and I watched Insidious. Okay, two movies that are kind of similar in like as far as like possession or haunting, so to say. Uh, but they're so different story wise in that way because Patrick Wilson is in both of these, playing two different characters. This one's based on the case files of the Warrens, and then this one is from the makers of Paranormal Activity with director James Wan. It's not the house that's haunted. Basically about this boy. Um, he needs help, and there's like this demon thing that looks like Darth Maul. But this one, I think it's hard to say which one's creepier. I don't know. They both have they both have their moments. Really, honestly, I cannot pick. Um, and I have to say, which characters do I like more? I have to say, maybe I like the characters more in The Conjuring, but still, this one, Insidious, definitely has some freaky, freaky moments, man. These are great movies right here, honestly. And I like the series. Like, I love Conjuring 2. I think Conjuring 2 is just as good. And Insidious, I even like all the Insidious movies. Insidious 2 is probably my favorite of the sequels, but Insidious 3 and 4 are good too. Um, but anyway, yeah. Conjuring Insidious, that's what I watched. I made it a James Wan day. Moving on to Friday, the 16th of October, I watched The Green Inferno, which is directed by Eli Roth, who did Cabin Fever. He did Hostel. Um, I think he's okay as a director. He's more. Eli Roth, I want to say he goes in weird directions sometimes. Like in his movies, there's like weird things that happen that don't make sense that he just plugs in there, and it's like what are we supposed to think about that? Are we supposed to be like amazed because it's weird? I don't know. Like in Cabin Fever with that kid who just yells pancakes, 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 and then he bites that guy. Like what? What's going on? But this movie had a couple of weird parts. Like this guy's in the cage, he's being held captive by these cannibals, and he's sitting there masturbating. And they're like, why are you masturbating? He's like, well, this relieves tension. And he's sitting there I'm like, okay, if I'm stuck in a cage and I wanted to relieve tension, my first thought would not be masturbation. I would not go to masturbate to relieve my tension. No, that's stupid. Anyway, yeah, about these people who land in the jungle, the Amazon jungle, and they get held captive by these cannibal natives, and you know they're gonna eat them. Basically, this one guy gets it really bad. They chop off all his limbs while he's still alive. They take out his eyeballs and start eating them, and take his corpse and put like spices on it and put it in this oven thing and cook him. It's very gory, and that's where Eli Roth. I think he shines in that aspect, but story wise, he sucks. I think the story here is really stupid. He actually copied off of a lot of this. Seems familiar from the Jungle Holocaust movie. If you've ever seen Jungle Holocaust, where the plane crashes on, it's the same thing here. Even though the motive is different, it's still kind of the same thing here. It's like he was mixing Jungle Holocaust with Cannibal Holocaust. It doesn't go as far as Cannibal Holocaust. It doesn't cross that line. Because the older Cannibal movies really crossed it. I mean, they're banned in like 20 some countries. So they couldn't go that far with this one, but it's fine. I still think it's decent when it comes to Eli Roth. I think it's decent. So the next one I watched is, of course, Orphan. I've seen this movie a lot of times. And I love the direction they go with this, especially the twist. I was not expecting the twist at the end, but what's her name? Isabel Furman. She was also in the first Hunger Games movie. She was much older there, but she did a great job as Esther. This is like a modern day take on The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin, but she does a lot of bad stuff, and I like how she's manipulative, like with the little girl that can't hear. She basically tells her what to do and has her wrapped around her finger and stuff. This is great. This movie's awesome. And what's her name? Vera Farmiga's in this. Peter Sarsgaard. Yeah, it's a good cast. So moving on to Saturday, October 17th, I watched It Follows. Now, I still think this is a creepy movie. I mean, there's something creepy about this thing that will follow you no matter where you go. It may be slow, but it's still coming. In my mind, here's the thing: just don't have sex. That's the lesson learned here, kids. Just don't have sex. You won't have to worry about it. Don't have to worry about this thing following you and killing you. That's it. But no, you can't resist the urge. You just got to have sex and then hope that this thing doesn't find you. And the thing is that it will find you. No matter where you go. If you go in a building, if you go in the water, if you go on a water tower, if you go on a plane, it'll still follow you. It may take a long time. That's the thing. If this thing was following me, I honestly think I'd get on a boat and go to an island. So what does it do? Does it just walk in the water and walk on the bottom of the water, or does it swim? That's the thing. Knowing that it's coming is terrifying to me. It's like sitting on the edge of something you can't escape from. Because, yeah, what do you... The only safe place you would be is in a plane, if you think about it. Because it can't get to you there. But this thing... So after you have sex, this thing follows you until it reaches you and kills you. And it can mimic anybody. It can turn into anybody. It can turn into like one of your family members to try to trick you. Um, I love it. It's got a creepy vibe to it. I love the cinematography and the slow panning shots and the still shots. Like something in the background you're supposed to be focusing on, and then there's someone here, but you're looking in the background. Fantastic. Don't have sex. The other one I watched is Jennifer's Body. Now, this one I have not seen in the longest time. I mean, it's been man, I don't even. It's been years since I've seen this, and I wanted to revisit it because I remember when I first saw it, I didn't really care for it because I wasn't sure on what they were trying to do. If it if it was trying to be a comedy or if it was trying to be serious. It seems like it didn't know what it was. But after watching it again, I realized that yeah, it is a horror comedy. Um, some of the situations and some of the stuff that happens in there is just ridiculous. It's laughable. Megan Fox, I thought she did fine in this. Amanda Seyfried was kind of lifeless, but some of the situations were kind of funny. The fact she eats boys, and I think the CGI was kind of bad when she would turn into like open her mouth and um, stuff like that. Then there's the famous kissing scene on the bed in their underwear. I mean, that's all anyone ever watches this for anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't say I hate this movie. I wouldn't even say I dislike it really. It's just okay, I think. But like I said, I wanted to watch it again. All right, so Sunday the 18th. Basically, I wanted to watch a couple of movies that I haven't seen in a long time. The first one here is based on a true story, and it has Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it, Kyra Sedgwick. And this is a movie that I feel no one ever talks about, and it's really underrated, to be honest. And it is The Possession. And this is about a movie about a girl who gets this box. They get it at like a garage sale or something. Gets this box and she ends up opening it, and something ends up happening to the girl. Something's wrong. Um, where she's not acting right. And from there, you get to see the progression of how she's or how Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character is dealing with it, and he's not really believing some of the stuff that's happening until she is not acting herself. So you get to see the progression of her going kind of like downhill and weird things happening, almost like she has powers in a way. Um, I thought as for a possession movie, I think this was very I think it was done very well. It was kind of different than some of the other ones you've seen before. But, again, it's a possession film. So there are going to be certain elements that seem the same, like you've seen in other movies. But then the story's different enough to make you, I guess, feel more interested in what's going on, more invested. So the possession is definitely a good movie. And I think, largely to Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he definitely stole the show, and the girl did too. But yeah, decent film. Last one I watched. Now I haven't seen this in a long time, and I remember I got this Blu-ray. Um, I think Best Buy, and when it comes to Alfred Hitchcock, this is probably definitely one of my favorites, and it is The Birds. I saw this at a very young age. It's got Rod Taylor and Jessica Tandy. Jessica Tandy, very very young in this. She was in Cocoon. She was in, of course, Driving Miss Daisy. That's probably one of her most famous roles, other than The Birds. But this was Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense. He did such a good job with this. Now I remember when I first saw The Birds. Um, like I said, I was very young and I never looked at birds the same. I'd go outside and I'd see like, the crows or whatever sitting on the telephone pole because I have one right here. And, they would do that all the time and I'd get scared because I feel like they would come after me. The birds in this, it's just how they did it was great. There'd be like hundreds of birds sitting on the wires and then on top of the buildings and stuff. And, she would go outside and like they'd have to like move like slow. Um, they were just there, just like monitoring. It's crazy. This movie's excellent. I remember I heard that I think Rob Zombie or somebody was gonna make. remake the birds, and I'm just like, oh great, like that's gonna be great. Um, CGI birds, that's what's gonna turn into. If someone remakes this movie, it's going to be CGI birds. That's what we're gonna see. Fake freaking birds. Anyway, this movie is what I call a classic. One of Alfred Hitchcock's, best, and yeah, one of the most memorable as well. So I was definitely excited to rewatch it. And this Blu-ray is really, I mean, it looks really really good. Digitally restored in high definition, of course. A lot of special features. There's a deleted scene, the original ending. Um, all about the birds, which is cool. Really, really good. So anyway, that's it. That is what I watched this week, October 12th through the 18th. So I'll be back next Sunday and show you guys what I watched during that week. So I hope you enjoyed this, and definitely go check out Julie Cassidy's weekly video, and I'll be back with more. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.